Hi, my name is Ariel Jillian, and welcome to another edition of the Queen's Corner, and where we go into some uncomfortable truths that I think we need to talk about. Okay, and today we were talking about the D9 or the Divine Nine, as I call it, and are they hiding some key truths from us? Okay, now I actually am a part of the D9, I am an AKA, and I had no idea about this information. And most Divine Nine members will not know this information either. Okay? So I'm going to put a link in my description box to a video done by Dan Calloway, and it tells of some hidden truths and some gatekeepers in our society. Okay? Now, what I want to get into today is that we know of the Divine Nine, but did you know that there is actually 10? There is 10. All right? So when you look at it, when you research this, there is a fraternity that was before Alpha Phi Alpha, okay? And it's called Sigma Pi Phi, okay? And this is called the first Negro American fraternity, all right? And keyword Negro American, okay? Now this fraternity was used to keep the other 9 in check. And so far they've done a pretty good job, okay? But I think their reign is over. I think it's time for the reign to be over, all right? So let's get more deep into this, right? So the history of the Divine Nine, we know that it started in historically Black colleges, okay? And it started in the 1900s, right? The beginning of the 1900s, okay? 1906, 1908, 1911, 1913. It all happened in the beginning of the 1900s, okay? Now, one thing that we're not really told about these historically Black colleges and universities is that these were put in place by whites, okay? And they put certain Black leaders in place that they knew they could control, all right? And so I believe that the ones who started the first Negro American fraternity were able to control the rest, all right? And they kept us at a certain level of information so that nothing would quite get out, all right? Now, I joined AKA because I was looking for my community, right? I was looking for more information about who I was, where I come from, and I wanted to belong to my society, right? And I feel like that's what most D9s come in and they have good intentions about what they want to do with their life, right? But we really have to research, where did these fraternities and sororities come from? And why are they named after the Greeks, right? Well, since we could not join the white fraternities and sororities, they made a Negro version, okay? And this only started in the beginning of the 1900s. So what were we before the 1900s, right? What were we before this higher education? This higher education that was funded by white people that wanted to keep us at a certain level of understanding about ourselves, right? So when we get into these fraternities and sororities, we are told that the founding fathers and founding sisters or mothers identified as Negro American, okay? And in some of my other videos, I talk about how the loss of our true identity was over generations, right? So the women and men of the 1900s, they were probably already indoctrinated from childhood, right? They were indoctrinated to believe that they were Negro, okay? That was the time when they started to sign up for voting rights, right? And so they had to claim what they were, and at that time you had to be Negro, okay? But what was before Negro, right? All right. But when you really study the history of the D9s and what they teach us, it has nothing to do about American Indians. It has no foundation about where we come from. And it really has no history about the lie that we're from Africa either. They didn't put that in there, right? They weren't smart enough to do that. Okay? So there was a lot of information kept out of the D9’s. And I feel like that's why, as a community, we still can't quite get ourselves together the way we really should. Okay? What I feel like now, I understand there's a lot of people in the D9 that are out there. And once we learn this history, that it's only a partial history of our story, right? We did not just pop up in the 1900s as Negroes, okay? We were here before that. And I feel like our ancestors who were creating at that time the fraternities and sororities, they just wanted a better life. You know, they wanted higher education, and they thought that this was the way to get them there, just like we did when we were in college. Okay? We thought that these communities would really get us somewhere better and great, right? Only to realize we're kind of in the same boat with everybody else. It don't matter your letters, really. Now, there are a lot of letters in higher places like lawyers and doctors and education and such like that. All right? But is it really moving our community forward, right? Well, if we don't have that key information about where we came from and that this was our land, because they definitely did not tell us that, right? They didn't tell us that we were from America. They didn't tell us that we were from Africa, but they surely did not tell us that we were from America. They just kept it Negro. They kept it basic. If we were not told that history for a reason, and we're not allowed to know more history because there's another fraternity, the first one, we're not even allowed to know that. You have to understand that this way of thinking, this structure, one is capitalism, but this structure is also a structure from the other Great Britain, from England, from how they rule, how they have secret societies and stuff, and that they never had our best interest in mind, okay? They just wanted to make it seem like there is a nice little glazed black elite right there. They'll do good, just as nice little puppets. They can believe that they're Negroes. They can believe this stuff, but just don't tell them the real, okay? So I think a lot of us were just not told the real, not told the whole truth, okay? But the ones who are in these groups, right, the ones who have the letters, are in these fraternities and sororities, we just need to do a better job communicating with each other and understand that these fraternities and sororities were influenced by the whites, and they did that so that we would not gain more information about where we came from. And so we just have to take our resources now, learn the truth, and move forward. And that might cause for some rewriting of our laws and our bylaws and our history, and that is okay. If you are not rewriting history every 100 years, every 200 years with updates, with truths, with lies that were uncovered, then something is wrong, because history changes, right? History moves forward. It's not always the same story, because if it was the same story, that means we aren't going nowhere. We are in the same spot. So if you were a D9, I don't want you to feel bad if you did not know that there's actually 10. There's D10. Okay, and I don't want you to feel bad if you did not know that we're American Indians. But I want you to take this knowledge and learn more and apply it to the community that you serve, because a lot of us are prominent in our communities. A lot of us serve a lot of people, okay? And we are not D9 for a reason, okay? We knew we were leaders when we did it. So now let's take a leadership role and move our people forward and stop with the lies and the half-truths and move ourselves forward to understand that a lot of our culture was not here before and a lot of our truths were hidden. All right, thank you. Have a good day.